This is Dr. Andrew Jones. In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, I'm going to be discussing chocolate toxicity in dogs, how to know if your dog has consumed too much chocolate, and what you can do about it. This is such a common dog toxicity. I've had a number of different pet owners relay that they've had issues, even this holiday season. So I felt it's important that I do a video on it so you're aware of exactly how much chocolate is toxic and what you need to do about it. So the most common clinical signs that we're seeing are gastrointestinal. Your dog is eating chocolate, he's going to have an upset stomach, you may have vomiting or diarrhea. When we start to get concerned, we start seeing some of the more serious clinical signs. Initially, it can just be hyperexcitability. Your dog is more restless, they're drinking more, perhaps urinating more often. And then I started to get especially concerned when we're starting to see some of the neurologic signs. We've got elevated breathing rate, elevated heart rate. We may see tremors, seizures, hyperthermia or elevated body temperature. In extreme cases, it can actually lead to coma. So how much chocolate is toxic? Great question. There's a whole number of different types of chocolate. In general, the darker the chocolate, the more toxic it is. Following, we're going to have a number of slides so you can actually get a better grip of it. You can actually calculate exactly how much theobromine is in the chocolate your dog's consumed and whether or not it's serious or not and you need to do any interventions. But for example here, this is a large dark milk chocolate bar. I'm in Canada, so it says it's 100 grams. That equates to 3 ounces. So if a 20-pound dog, for instance, if Lewis was 20 pounds, he consumed it, that's enough for him to actually have serious clinical signs, and then you need to do some emergent veterinary care. How much chocolate is toxic for dogs? If your dog ingests an amount close to 20 milligrams of theobromine per pound of dog, then you need to seek emergency veterinary care. This is a slide showing the amount of the toxic ingredient theobromine in different amounts of chocolate. In white chocolate, there's 0.25 milligrams per ounce. In milk chocolate, there's 58 milligrams per ounce. In dark chocolate, there's 130 milligrams per ounce. And in baker's chocolate, there's 393 milligrams per ounce. Let's say you have a 20-pound dog. His name is Lewis, and he happens to consume some chocolate. What if Lewis has consumed 3 ounces of milk chocolate? From the slide here, you can see that milk chocolate has 58 milligrams per ounce. So 3 ounces times 58 milligrams from the chart, divided by 20 pounds of dog, equals 8.7 milligrams. You're not anywhere close to the toxic number of 20 milligrams of theobromine. You have no need to worry. But say Lewis has eaten 3 ounces of dark chocolate. Dark chocolate contains 130 milligrams per ounce of theobromine from the chart. So 3 ounces times 130 milligrams divided by 20 pounds of dog body weight equals 19.5 milligrams. Should you be concerned? Yes, it's very close to the toxic level of 20 milligrams per pound. You need emergency veterinary treatment. So if your dog has consumed 20 milligrams per pound of theobromine, such as my example 20-pound dog consuming this 3-ounce bar of dark chocolate, we know he's consumed a toxic level, then you need to seek emergency veterinary care. If you're not able to get to the emergency veterinarian immediately, then you can induce vomiting in your dog. The best way to do that is with hydrogen peroxide. So this is 3% hydrogen peroxide. I suggest you all have it on hand. It's a great thing to have, especially when we're dealing with dogs and we need to induce vomiting. In terms of the doses of what we're giving, it's 1 teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight. And I would give that now. Repeat that in 10 minutes, no more than 2 treatments. So in terms of the amount, Lewis here is about 80 pounds. So he would need about 5 mils. So he needs 5 mils per 10 pounds. So we're looking at 40 mils. So that would be about 8 teaspoons. So you can just pour that into a container. Measure it out. Just gonna it really isn't very much. I just want to show you here as a close-up. That's it. There's a teaspoon, right? 5 mils. The other thing you guys should have on hand, just have a big syringe on hand. Here's a 35 ml syringe. So I'm going to draw it up so you have an idea just how much Lewis would need. And I'm not going to give it to him because I don't want to have to induce vomiting. But there it is. There's 35 mils of hydrogen peroxide. He should get close to 40, but 35 would be pretty close, probably be enough. And you said that's about 8 teaspoons, right? It's because we're looking at 5 mil in each teaspoon. So what I would do, I just tilt his head back. You want to put that, if you've got the syringe, just opening your dog's mouth, might be the side of his mouth, putting it right to the back of his tongue, because you want to get it straight back so he can't spit any out, and then push it in. You don't want to start from the front. It's pretty easy for him to spit it out. So right into the back of his mouth. It is fairly frothing and irritating, as you can imagine. You want to give it time to have an effect. Generally about 4 to 5 minutes, your dog is going to vomit. If he doesn't vomit that in 10 minutes, you can repeat it again, but no more than 2 times. It is very irritating, especially to the esophagus and the stomach, and it can lead to other problems if you continue to repeat it. In the interim, so if that's the case, your dog has consumed that much chocolate, especially the dog that's 20 pounds and under and he's consumed that big, large bar of dark chocolate, then get your dog to the emergency clinic as soon as possible, because the single biggest thing is we need to induce vomiting. At a veterinary clinic, they have access to other drugs that can induce vomiting. There's a drug called apomorphine that can be given as a little tablet just under the eyelid itself. A great one, which you don't have access to. The other thing you can look at giving, if you happen to have it on hand, is something called activated charcoal. And what it's great at doing is binding any of the toxins that your dog may have consumed, such as the chocolate, delaying absorption of it. Like Lewis, I would be giving him 2 teaspoons per 10 pounds. So we're looking at about 80 mils, about 2 of these syringe filled up, ideally, of this activated charcoal. It is there in the syringe. And it is kind of messy, but it works really well at binding whatever your dog or cat may have consumed. Thank you for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets of what to do if your dog consumes chocolate, you're concerned about chocolate toxicity. What I want you to do now is first click that link in the box above and you could subscribe to my channel. Then after you do that, you can click that link in the box below. I can send you my free books and videos on how to heal your dogs at home with my top natural remedies.